Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect who are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And do I say, Shalom. Yeah, so I got a few articles that I want to kind of link all together, through the spirit to show you the cunning craftiness of these devils, these Edomites, in which we know, according to the Bible, according to the testimony of Yahweh Shai, that the Israelites are the main target. We are the center point of everything that's going on, within the earth, and primarily dealing with these devils, these Edomites in their New World Order that will be initiated or created out of chaos. And so the protests that we see in LA, all right, in New York and various different cities, there is a common goal behind all of that. And that's to draw you Israelites into a trap, a snare. Okay. So this is the reason why the Lord set up prophets and watchmen to guide you in the right direction so that you may be preserved and not taken by the snares of Esau. So before we get into these articles, let's go into Genesis 27 real quick, or 25 and 27. Okay, so Genesis 25 and 27, it says, and the boys grew. This is Esau and Jacob, all right, two twins. Esau being a so-called white man, Jacob, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, two arch enemies. So again, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And plain, when you look it up, goes into pretty much being upright. Jacob was an upright and moral man, and while Esau was a wild man of the field, he was a cunning hunter. And just looking up a simple definition of, cunning.
Cunning.
It says having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion. And this is how Esau is trying to accomplish his New World Order of getting his birthright back from his brother Jacob, which he lost. So everything that we see happen, has an end goal, again, to obtain the birthright. And they're trying to do that by the way of deceit or evasion. They want to evade from being detected of their true motives. So all these protests that we're about to see, even this weekend on Saturday, you got the No Kings protests, all these different events that will be happening in these major cities. There's a goal to that. So basically, as we can see with LA, Trump is looking to bring in, the National Guard, the Marines, because they want top-notch security, and on top of that, they want to create a scenario with you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that, is going to force them to deal with you, physically with the military. So a lot of deception is going on. A lot of false flag type events is getting ready to be made or done. But it's all the cunning craftiness of Esau, Edom, the cunning hunter. So also when you go to the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 8, it says he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, right? And this is speaking about Esau. He sits in the lurking places of the villages, the cunning hunter. And so the lurking places, Strong's H3993, it says ambush, hunter's blind. See that? Ambush, hunter's blind. And an ambush is simply a surprise attack by people lying in wait in a concealed position. So it's pretty much a trap, a snare, okay, a pitfall, a lure. And these are the things that Esau is setting up, to allow him to ambush you jakes out there. So you're being drawn into a trap and don't even know it. For those outside this council, now we who in this council know exactly what time we're in. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble being initiated and set up. So Esau sitteth in the lurking places, all right, looking to ambush in the hiding places, right, of the villages or towns, in the secret places that he murder the innocent, all right. And his secret places is talking about these secret councils up top, start from your top bang elites that gets ordained or initiated through the lesser luminaries to push forth this situation of chaos, man. And which says only one desired goal, and that's to get after you Israelites, man, to get the birth rate back. So in the secret places, they come up with these plans to murder the innocent, you Israelites. So his eyes are privily or privately set against the poor. See that? So he has a target, strictly geared towards you Israelites, who are the focal point or the center point of all this madness. So he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So he's waiting on the perfect opportunity, just like a lion in his den. He waits for the perfect opportunity. He sees it. He's going to ambush and pounce on you Israelites, man. All right. Let's go into this word catch. To catch, Strong's H2414, which says to catch or seize. See, to seize, Strong's definition, to seize as a prisoner, right? And this is where Jake is finding themselves at right now amongst these protests. A lot of people being arrested. They got the deportation thing going on. So this is literally speaking about Esau and how he gets down. So he's lying in wait secretly as a lion in his den to catch the poor. All right. And so as things escalate, once more chaos breaks loose, that's going to give him a go ahead to really bring forth his military. All right. It's also going into this. It says he does catch the poor when he draweth them into his net. So let's click on this word draw. Strong's 84900. It says to draw, drag, seize, to draw and lift out, to drag along, to lead along. All right. Scripture speaks about my people being led as a flock to the slaughter, right? To drag or lead off, draw down, to draw, all right, to proceed and march. All right, to proceed and march. Let's look at this word march. Let's see what we get. Let's go to the Google. Sure, you got to say something about protest, right?
March.
Okay, so to walk in a military manner with a regular measured tread, to act or instance of marching. Okay, right here. A procession as a protest or demonstration. You see? A procession as a protest or demonstration. So going back into the definition, when he draws you into his net, all right, you're being led along to proceed in marching, protesting. You see? And we know that net, Strong's 87568, is a net for catching, of judgment, of leaders leading people to sin as a trap for man. You see? Strong's definition, a net as catching animals, right? So this is Esau's counsel right here. He's setting up, a scenario for you to protest, so they can have agent provocateurs and they can motivate other people or provoke them to get into it. So now he's justified in jumping on you with his strong ones. All right, we're going to read down. So it says, Psalms 10:10, he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. You see that? And the strong ones represents his man's military. So this article right here, from New York Times. Trump threatens any protesters, see, at military parade with very big force. All right. I haven't even heard about a protest, quote unquote, at the Saturday event, and you already know what's going on. At the Saturday event in Washington celebrating the Army, he said, but this is people that hate our country. So anyone who's protesting at this parade is going to be met with very big force, you see? So this is literally Psalms, the 10th chapter, coming into play. You know, he does catch the poor, when he draw them or lead along to proceed in marching, right? Protesting. When he draws them into his net, he's trapped. It's a trap, man. You see that? So when shit breaks off, Esau's gonna be justified in bringing in his thrones. You see that? So you Israelites out there, when you see what Trump is doing, man, it's really literally just the King Alfred plan being orchestrated or implemented, man. So let's go into this real quick. The King Alfred plan. So right here, it says blacks to be exterminated. See? Auschwitz style, concentration camp style. So it says you're about to read information extracted from the U.S. Library of Congress by researchers residing in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. Sinister objectives outlined in the data. Disclosure to the Black and Hispanic communities in obligatory. This data is accessible for verification and has been abridged due to space constraints. Okay. So a new government program was developed by the National Security Council between the years of 1960 to 64. It is called the King Alfred Plan. The plan details the encampment and extermination of 22 million blacks. U.S. Census count for 1970 back then, right? So it has been solidified by Reagan under Mr. Lewis Griffetto, ex-director of Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. Okay. So yeah, this of course has been on document for a minute, and guess what? Put in play. So let's continue to read. So let's kind of get to the point. I want to make this short and to the point. Okay, so the King Alfred plan right here. It says, anyway, getting back to the King Alfred. Now that you know who and why, here's the how. So at the point that abuses from the white governments incite rioting, from the white governments incite rioting and revolution among blacks and other people of color in the world, okay, the following agencies will carry out the presidential order for King Alfred, or the national crisis or emergency, as it would be called, okay, code words. So federal level, the National Security Council, the Central Intelligence Agency, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Department of Justice Courts, the Department of Defense Military, and Department of the Interior. State level, National Guard units. See, Trump just initiated 4,000 National Guard units. And the state police, local level, county, and city police departments. So in addition to the above so-called legal enforcement, in 1982, Oliver North and Reagan added an amendment to King Alfred entitled Rex 84, signed into law in 1984, which provides that Latinos be included in the extermination, and that the neo-Nazi groups in Texas, get this, and the neo-Nazi groups in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi be federally funded and trained so that when the president to be declares the national crisis, these groups will be immediately deputized to assist law enforcement in the roundup and incarceration, right? Let's continue. So, and if you think that there will be a worldwide crime, don't wait for it. Ex-Secretary of State James Baker has already enlisted the help of KGB. No, they are not gone, and the Canadian government. These governments have created a U.S. European base all right, to exterminate blacks and Latinos in Africa, South America, all right, the East, the West Indies, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, all right. For blacks in America, the U.S. has divided up into 11 rounder regions. Okay, so we see who's the corporate of this: the U.S. and European base. That's the beast system right there. That's the dragon, pretty much. Let's go ahead and get that real quick. Uh, so right here in Revelation 12 and 17, it says, "And the dragon was wroth with the woman." The dragon is a revival of the Roman Empire, which came through America, in which now it's NATO in the EU, in which America is the whore that rides the beast, this beast system. So, and the dragon was wroth, pissed off with the woman, that being Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. Okay, the elect, those who are the true threat, the ones who are speaking out against Esau, and complaining unto Yahweh by Shemel Shai, to send back outlaw Yahweh Shai to take this man out of power. Okay. So it says, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So dragon, this beast system, is wroth with the woman Israel. Okay. So that's where you get this right here from, with the King Alpha plan. U.S. and European base. Okay. To exterminate blacks and Latinos in Africa, South Africa, all right, the East and West Indies, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, all right. It's a worldwide event based upon the beast system. For blacks in America, the U.S. is divided up into 11 rounder regions, all right, so on and so forth. You see them right there. So it says, now you will want to know where you would be vacationing, and the current extermination counts are as follows. And you see them right there, okay. So scroll on down. And it was a point about a chip. I'll just get that point and we'll go back into the scriptures. Okay, right here. Okay, just getting to the point. So it says there are many preliminary programs being instituted, such as Oliver North's Operation Night Train and the Black Program. And while we contemplate King Alfred, Canada, France, Russia, now unified, and the U.S. military labs have already begun systematic elimination of us and Asians using germ warfare, AIDS, and other manufactured retroviruses. Right, NutraSweet, microchip implants for prisoners and infants. See, Norplant and melanin specific fungi and bacteria. I think you get the picture, right? So yeah, I want to highlight the point that they got microchip implants right here. So, once things get out of hand, they're gonna bring in a particular order, for safety and security, in which as you heard Trump, he was talking about the biometric visa tracking system that will be on air, that will be on land, you know, and ultimately it's gonna be in your hand. You're gonna have to be surveyed, man, because of all the chaos and madness that's gonna be taking place. So this is the time of Jacob's trouble that we're about to approach. And right here, just let you know exactly what's really going on right now, man. Trump is talking about, the I forget what it's called, the 1708, 1807, something like that. I forget what that thing is called, but it all goes back into this plan right here, you know, and it stemmed from an immigrant problem. Let me see if they got it up in here. Yeah, there was another article I was looking at with Rex 84 that went into the fact that, this would pretty much be set up by, immigrants coming in from the border, So that's it. That scenario is literally playing out right now as we speak. All right. So also you got this situation right here. All right, from New York Post, it says Islamic terror leader calls for Trump, J.D. Vance assassinations over pro-Israel views and disturbing video. Take revenge. All right, I wanted to play this because we know that Vocab Malone and these Edomites have been trying to link the Hebrew Israelites with Al Qaeda or with Muslim Islam. You know what I'm saying? We saw IUIC linked up with Islam, which shows that these guys are paid off. They're set up to forward the agenda of Esau Edom because, you know, once they start bringing or initiating these so-called terror attacks and blaming Al Qaeda, they're gonna lump those who have these certain type of ideologies or alliances with these certain religions, in the same category. All right, thus giving them the leeway to target you Israelites out there, man. All right, so let's play this video real quick. Let's read this and then we'll play the video. So yeah, Al Qaeda leader Saad bin Atef al-Awlaki, all right, calling for American Muslims to wage jihadi and also the assassination of American officials, including President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Elon Musk, among others, man. So yeah, I mean, and Trump is talking about, having a birthday march Saturday as well. So I mean, anything can go down. Anything can go down. So we'll see. But let's play this real quick.
ثم إننا ندعو ومن الآن كإجراء عملي أولي كل مسلم على أرض أمريكا الكافرة المجرمة المتغطرسة، سواء أكان من أصول عربية أم أمريكية أو غيرها، المهم أن يكون دينه الإسلام ونبيه محمدا عليه الصلاة والسلام، والذين بلغ تعدادهم 4.5 مليون مسلما في أمريكا وحدها. نقول لهم جميعا الثأر الثأر، لا تشاوروا أحدا في قتل الأمريكان الكفرة، ولتكن همتكم كبيرة وقائمة استهدافاتكم مؤثرة، فدونكم عتاة الأرض وأكابر مجرميها، فهذا ترامب ونائبه، وهذا مستشاره وداعمه ماليا وإداريا وتقنيا إيلون ماسك، وهذان وزيرا خارجيته ودفاعه وأهلوهم أجمعين، وكل من يمت لساسة البيت الأبيض بصلة أو قرابة.
Right, so hey, it's about to go down, man. Of course, these guys are set up by Esau Edom to forward his agenda, but from what he's saying, if you support Islam or Muslim, you're a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got to go here. You ain't got to consult with no one. See, do not consult anyone about killing infidel Americans. So be on the lookout for terrorist attacks, bombings, and overall fear that's gripping America. Further bringing in more order, more law, martial law at that. You know what I'm saying? So very dangerous times that we in. And I want to play that because I want to link it up with this article right here from the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's a return of the violent black nationalists. All right, so I want to scroll down. To black soldiers and white devils, okay, and show you how they're trying to link, the Hebrew Israelites and Islam together. All right, so right here, if you can see, it says mainstream Islam followers of Islam, however, reject black nationalist assertions that they are Muslim. This is primarily attributed to various unorthodox teachings found in black nationalism, such as the notion of blacks being God's elect, as well as declarations of black sovereignty. Of particular concern to law enforcement, some black nationalists have expressed support for Al Qaeda and the Islamic State. See, so now you got to question IUIC's motives. See, as you saw them pretty much unite with the Nation of Islam. For example, on May the 4th, 2017, the FBI arrested Clark Calloway, who sympathized with ISIS and wanted to start a race war. For unlawful possession of a machine gun, Calloway had also expressed hatred towards white people and wanted to attack law enforcement. Also in July 2006, the FBI arrested 7 members of a black nationalist religious cult in Liberty City, Florida, called the Universal Divine Saviors, and charged them with providing material support to a foreign terrorist organization and attempted to wage war against the U.S. government. Some group members reportedly had ties to Moorish affiliated groups. So in this respect, black nationalism may serve as a gateway. See, in this respect, black nationalism may serve as a gateway to foreign-based extremism and international terrorism. So by reading this, we can see what, Vocab's motives is all about. He wants to link us with these terrorist groups, okay, because they're gonna bring something big to where um, they're gonna try to lump us into that category of supporting Al Qaeda, or Islam. So at this point, you got to ask yourself, why would IUIC join themselves up, with the Nation of Islam? It's because they're bought and paid for. Simple as that. They fit right in with the narrative of Esau Edom's objective, man. You know, Scripture says that they prepare a table. Yep, Isaiah 55, verse 11. So it says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, Yahweh, by Shemal Shah, okay? That forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop. Who is that troop? That's Esau. So you're preparing a table, as far as him, eating. It speaks about when this man is about to fill his belly, how the Lord shall rain upon him while he's eating, roughly paraphrasing. But you're preparing this man's table. You're preparing him to devour the poor man, the Israelites, basically. And to furnish a drink offering unto that number. See, that 2/3. See? So you're setting up Esau. You're working for Esau on the left hand side. All right, by siding with these different groups, by not teaching in the name of Yahweh, by Yahweh Shai. You're looking like Freemasons and all this, man. So Esau has bought out a lot of these Israelite camps. Let me see. In which they made a covenant with these devils. So Isaiah 28 in verse 18. Matter of fact, verse 17, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, man. And the water shall overflow the hiding places. Because this truth is gonna, uncover all these secret counsels and these secrets that these people have. It says, in your covenant, your agreement with death, who is death? Esau, shall be disannulled. All right, you got a 501c3 contract to do after the ordinance of the heathen. See, in your agreement with hell, ain't shall now stand. So you might have got a bag, but when the time comes, when the Lord lets Esau do his thing, man, with these troops in the streets, they're not gonna give a damn about you, man. They just need an opportunity to pounce and to pray, and guess what? You to pray too. So your agreement with hell shall not stand. Hey, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through these troops, then ye shall be trodden down by it, man. Right? Because the time is coming which they're going to target you Israelites, who are the focal point of the problem. Mainly right in America, but also around the world. Okay? 2 Peter 16 and 68. So it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, all right? And they should take away certain of you during the time of martial law. They're going to come to your house, round you up. They already got curfews in LA. So just imagine when all hell really breaks loose and there's a curfew and people are stuck in their houses, and they come and round you up, late at night, 3 in the morning. You see? and they should take away certain of you, okay, and feed you. Being idle, they're gonna throw you into these concentration or detention centers. All right, isolated by yourself, interrogating you. They're gonna feed with things offered unto idols. See that chip for what? National security. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. So those who made a deal with these devils, man, hey, they're gonna be trodden down, anyway, as just read. When the overflowing scourge come through, they shall be trodden down by it. Hey, for there should be in every place and in the next cities, you see, as they're talking about, we can see it building up as they're talking about, these protests, no king protests, something like that. That's going to be in every place, in every city. So that's giving way for martial law and truce to be in every city. It says a great insurrection among those that fear the Lord. See? And that's talking about the Israelites. And they shall be like madmen and sparing none because of the narrative, the accusation that Esau is going to create. You're going to be a terrorist, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. See? For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And then shall they be known who are my chosen. All right, we're talking about the elect. And they should be tried as a gold in the fire. All right, so the elect, going to be saved out of it. As we're going to read here, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. As we can see, Jacob's trouble, but I would deliver you from the same. All right, so the elect are going to be guided, okay, through all this hell that's going to come. But for those who are outside this council, they didn't take this truth serious. They didn't teach, our people the names, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. They mocked the chip, the mark of the beast, all these things that they taught and, that they mocked about. It's going to come back to bite them in the ass, man. So Esau, that cunning hunter, is definitely setting the stage for this great persecution for the Israelites. So, yeah, 444. And it's on reserve for the elect. Mercy. So with that, Lord willing, you edify. Until next time I say, Shalom.